Hello and welcome to this edition of Olsem Wanem. On the show this evening, we highlight health, food security and culture in Popondetta.
The Oro province is most renowned for the Kokoda track, the Alexandria birdwing butterfly, tapa cloth, facial tattoos, and more recently, tourism and diving in Tufi. Like most other parts of PNG, the northern province also needs an overhaul in the most basic of service delivery. Following the eruption of Mount Lamington in 1951, the Popondetta General Hospital was constructed in 1967 as a health center. Today, that health center operates under the status of a general hospital, catering for almost 200,000 people in the province with only a capacity of 120 beds.
We provide basically clinical services, secondary health services basically. We cover surgery, internal medicine, pediatrics or child health, obstetrics and gynecology, which covers women's health, mothers and neonates, babies. We also have an accident emergency, and we provide outpatient services for adults. This year we have decided to take on children as well. So Popondetta General Hospital since then has buildings built ad hoc basis. So as the need arose, they put one building. Then the following year, another need arose, they put one building. So it was more or less as a health center. When you look at medical standards and requirements for a hospital, Popondetta General Hospital doesn't fit into any of those criteria. So physically it's a health center, but on paper it's a hospital.
Mr. Gawi is confident that the plans to redevelop the hospital will enable better health care services in 2014 and beyond.
And this time we're going to do it with taking into consideration the medical standards requirements of a hospital. We are starting that off next year, 2014, with an operating theater.
If everything goes according to plan, this will be the first time in 47 years that Popondetta General will undergo such a major facelift. An improvement of such magnitude will greatly assist in major surgical cases instead of sending patients to the Port Moresby General Hospital, which can be a costly exercise for most patients.
We'll have more for you when we come back. You're watching Olsem Wanem. Food security is a main concern everywhere in the country. Drought, flooding, climate change and mining and deforestation are some factors that influence this.
Lo food security, you must cut plenty kai, where kai you must cut the quality, lo maintaining lifestyle below you lo place. That's what is meant by food security.
The Food and Agriculture Organization and the United Nations have classed PNG as one of the world's poorest countries in terms of food consumption and nutrition. More Papua New Guineans are now becoming too reliant on store food instead of garden food, and this is where food security falls into play.
In the summit in Rome, the government realized that Papua New Guinea was rated as number 77 in the summit. So what the government of the day, when it came in Rome, what they did was that they signed an agreement stating that when they come back, they would all work together as a team to combat poverty.
Under current food security policy, the following objectives were highlighted. 1. To increase food production and improve access to food at the household level. 2. To improve the status and nutrition levels of food for Papua New Guineans. 3. To improve downstream processing, marketing and utilization of food. 4. To strengthen formal and informal networks to ensure a focus on the national food security policy. 5. To ensure the integrated management and sustainable use of land, water, fisheries, forest and genetic resources. And 6. Ensure maximum participation of women in all aspects of agriculture.
Women, we've been put aside for so long. It's about 60 to 70% of the women of Papua New Guinea are kept at the back. We came into independence, 35 years back, but you will see that most of our women are still at the back, and we see that our men is in the forefront. And there's to be gender balance in decision making, in agriculture production, in politics, in all this. We need to stand together as a team. When it comes to agriculture, you will see that women, they do most of the work in the family. They do a lot of work in the family, but when it comes to great debt, you will see that the man will always take the forefront when the woman is always put at the back. Let's be partakers to development. Let women come together and stand with men, and let's see the development of Papua New Guinea.
The introduction of resource centers plays a pivotal role in sustainable agriculture, encouraging locals to plant crops for personal consumption or to generate an income.
So these resource centers are not only for disaster only, but for day-to-day living. The people of Oro can always go back to this place and can be able to get their plenty materials from there to go back and sustain themselves. So that's what we're trying to do now, and we are encouraging a lot of people that we have resource centers already available, that the people of Oro go back there and get your plenty materials there, rather than you going back to Nari, rather than you going back to Laloki, Bubia, all those research centers to get plenty materials, which is a waste of time. By the time you get there, you're wasting so much money to get there, and when you get back, you even lose even more than that. So now what we're trying to get to our people is that we already have resource centers there, go back there and get your plenty materials from there.
When we come back, we find out what the University of Natural Resources and Environment is all about. This is Olsem Wanem. The University of Natural Resource and Environment is one of Papua New Guinea's oldest tertiary institutions and is situated in Popondetta.
Established in 1963, the University of Natural Resource and Environment has played an important role in training and educating experts in the field of agriculture. The Department of Agriculture took ownership of the campus with the primary objective of training more agriculture specialists to work within the sector. However, the institution has not been given much attention by successive governments, and this has taken a toll on its existing facilities and resources.
As a Papua New Guinean, I feel that this institution is a historical site in Papua New Guinea in terms of providing that essential service in the field of agriculture. However, you can tell by the appearances, the current status quo of the buildings we have, despite being the pioneer tertiary institution, nothing tangible, nothing realistically being done to increase the capacity and improve this institution to the level, to the height that it can now play a very important, significant role. That has been neglected by the successive governments. And for that, I feel very kind of downhearted that why didn't our so-called bureaucrats and the political heads take this institution seriously.
Since the merger with Budal Agricultural University in 2001, the UNRE has been providing courses that cover all aspects of agriculture, from plants, animals, soil, just to name a few.
If this university is well adequately funded or budgeted and given money to this institution, then I'm very adamant that we can raise the standard, increase the capacity, and even it means to offer degree and postgraduate programs, we have the potential.
The director also expressed concern about the current education reforms, saying that while the reforms are timely, secondary level education has to be properly equipped and the number of tertiary spaces increased to cater for the big number of secondary graduates.
Being an educationist, I feel for my country. I feel for particularly those young people coming through the education system. At the height of the inception of the current education reform, I can frankly admit that the reformation was good for Papua New Guinea, absolutely good. However, the government of the day failed miserably in terms of properly equipping the secondary schools, in terms of classrooms, in terms of specialist buildings, in terms of having specialized trained teachers, having sufficient resources to complement and support the teachers to discharge or teach the content and the skills. For instance, in 2011, our number, there were 13,000 grade 12 leavers, approximately. Out of 13,000, the tertiary institutions were only able to absorb 4,200 plus. Comes 2012, it jumped from 13,000 to 17,000 plus grade 12s. But the selection remains static. We only selected 4,200.
Despite the obvious setbacks, there is hope for the future. Instead of waiting for government assistance, UNRE has taken the initiative to partner with NBPOL to develop a palm oil plantation that can assist greatly with the future of the university.
My dream is that if I'm given ample support, I am of a very strong view to increase the capacity of the infrastructures I have on the ground, and I would like to increase the space availability for both male and female genders, and try to lure and attract as much as possible. If many students can come here and equip themselves with necessary life skills in agriculture, because agriculture means nothing else but life. We have signed an MOU with the Britain Palm Oil Company, and I'm very thankful indeed, and I like to also acknowledge here and that the New Britain Palm Oil management unanimously, agreed, and they said, we are going to assist you. What can we do for you? As a result, we signed an MOU, and they're going to plant. They have rehabilitated 53 hectares of existing plantation, and they are now planting 200 hectares. So the total hectares will be 253 hectares of oil palm. And from my preliminary findings, I queried and I was fed with an information that after 7 years' time, by 2020, this university will be very much independently surviving, independently.
You're with Olsem, Wanem. In this our last segment, we showcase Oro Province's tourism industry. We talk to the Tatu and Tapa guest house owner and highlight clay pot cooking. Tourism in the Northern Province has grown steadily over the years, and with all its different attractions mentioned earlier, it has the potential to make its mark on the tourism market. But like many parts of Papua New Guinea, perseverance and commitment can pay off, as in the case of the owners of the Tapa and Tatu guest house.
There's only one way to go. Papua New Guinea will have to develop. Building our province is not just their exercise. Our province will be built by our people. So all they need to do is to empower them and educate them. A lot of our people are not educated enough. Educated in the sense that what would make them sort of improve their own
way of life. When I came back 6 years ago, the message in my head, I hope people will pick up in the things I try to do every day. I try to be doing something. I have an old truck. If you get out of here and see it, it's got Vision 18 on it. The 18 number, the old people will probably work out, but the vision bit, they won't work out. There's a real purpose in my being here. And I hope that I can show that it doesn't leave my mind. Every day I wake up to do that. It was educational for me. I was surprised, and I didn't know that you could, especially the women, could create business like this. And while they've been here, I've had a chat with them, and I'm surprised that it's encouraging that that they should come to Popondetta. Unfortunately, Popondetta is only a small place. I can see real business for something like this in Port Moresby and Lae, or the bigger towns. And I hope that with this exposure, that other women can sort of try to explore their opportunities.
That's all we have time for on this edition of Olsem Wanem. Before we do go, we want to thank the people of Popondetta for their hospitality and all those who made time to share their concerns and views. Don't forget to send us your suggestions or comments of any of our stories to the address on your screen, or check us out on our Facebook page. Until then, have a good evening.